Bob Marley was laid to rest in a mausoleum in his birthplace, St. Anne's, in the north of Jamaica. Thousands of Jamaicans lined the streets to watch it pass, and it was a remarkable climax to what was surely the most extraordinary funeral ever given to a pop singer.
Have you ever wondered about the man behind the legend of reggae music? Bob Marley, an icon who transcended music and became a symbol of identity and struggle, left an indelible mark on the world. But what about the day he left us? Let's delve into the life of this extraordinary musician, from his humble beginnings to his untimely death, and unravel the story of Bob Marley, a man whose music continues to inspire and unite. Early life and struggles. Born on February 6, 1945, in 9 Mile, a small Jamaican village, Robert Nesta Marley entered the world as the son of Cedella Booker, a young Jamaican girl of African descent, and Norval Marley, a white Jamaican of English heritage. Bob's mixed-race background in a predominantly black Jamaica laid the foundation for a life marked by complex identity struggles. Growing up in the rural parish of St. Anne, Bob's early years were steeped in poverty. The absence of basic amenities like electricity and running water painted a stark picture of his humble beginnings. Discrimination was a constant shadow due to his mixed heritage. In a society where racial lines were sharply drawn, Bob, with his biracial appearance, found himself an outsider among his own people. He faced ridicule and isolation, which later influenced his music and message of unity. His father, Norval, almost a spectral figure in his life, was a captain in the British Army. Their interactions were sparse, mostly limited to occasional visits and financial support. Norval's absence left young Bob in a predominantly female household, where his mother's strength became a guiding force. Bob's relationship with his father was further strained when Norval passed away in 1955, leaving a gaping hole in the young boy's life. During these formative years, Bob's exposure to music began to shape his future. His friendship with Neville "Bunny" Livingston, whom he met in school, proved pivotal. Bunny's father introduced Bob to the guitar, igniting a passion that would define his life. Together, they explored the rhythms and sounds that were the heartbeat of their culture. The move to Trenchtown in Kingston in the late 1950s was a turning point. Despite being one of the city's poorest areas, Trenchtown was a melting pot of musical talent. Here, Bob's musical journey took a serious turn. Surrounded by the harsh realities of inner-city life, his music began to reflect the struggles and aspirations of his community. In his teens, Bob's encounter with racial prejudice continued. He was often referred to as "white boy," a term that highlighted his struggle to fit into a society where he was seen as neither entirely black nor white. This experience of living on the fringes of society deeply influenced his songwriting, infusing it with themes of belonging and identity. His early musical influences were diverse, ranging from Ray Charles and Elvis Presley to the local ska and rocksteady sounds. These influences converged to shape his unique musical style. Bob's stint at a welding shop, where he suffered an eye injury, reinforced his belief that music was his true calling. The formation of the Wailers, with Bunny and Peter Tosh, marked the beginning of Bob's professional music career. The trio, navigating the challenges of the music industry, started to make a name for themselves in the bustling music scene of Kingston. Their music, a blend of rocksteady and reggae, began to resonate with the struggles and hopes of the Jamaican people. Despite the early promise, success was not immediate. The Wailers faced numerous setbacks, from financial struggles to the complexities of the music industry. These challenges, however, did not deter Bob. Instead, they fueled his determination to use music as a tool for social change. Bob Marley's early life was a tapestry of hardship, struggle, and resilience. From the rural hills of St. Anne to the vibrant streets of Trenchtown, his experiences shaped not just the musician, but the man he became. A voice for the voiceless, a symbol of unity and resistance, and a legend in the annals of music history. His journey from obscurity to international fame is a testament to the power of music as a force for change, a narrative that began in the humblest of settings, under the Jamaican sun. Musical Beginnings, and the Wailers. Bob Marley's journey into the world of music was not just a career choice, it was a destiny being fulfilled. This journey, deeply rooted in the cultural tapestry of Jamaica, began in the early 1960s when Marley, Bunny Livingston, later Bunny Wailer, and Peter Tosh decided to channel their shared passion for music into a professional endeavor. The formation of the Wailers marked the birth of a phenomenon that would later revolutionize not just Jamaican music, but also the global music landscape. Initially, the group focused on ska, a popular genre in Jamaica at the time. Their early music was light, danceable, and characterized by a distinctive offbeat rhythm. The Wailers' first single, Simmer Down, released in 1964, became a huge hit in Jamaica, soaring to the top of the charts. This success was a pivotal moment, signaling the emergence of a significant new force in the music scene. Despite their initial success, the Wailers' journey was fraught with challenges. The instability of the music industry, coupled with financial difficulties, made their path uncertain. The group underwent several changes in lineup, with members coming and going. But the core trio of Marley, Bunny, and Tosh remained constant, driven by their shared vision and commitment to their art. As the 1960s progressed, the musical landscape began to shift. Ska evolved into rocksteady, and eventually into reggae, a genre that would become synonymous with the Wailers. Reggae's slower rhythm and emphasis on the bass line provided a perfect canvas for Marley's socially conscious lyrics. Songs like Soul Rebel and 400 Years reflected the struggles of the oppressed and the need for resistance and emancipation. The late 1960s and early 1970s were a period of artistic growth for the Wailers. Marley's exposure to different cultures and musical styles during his brief stint in Delaware, USA, with his mother, broadened his musical horizons. This experience, combined with his deepening Rastafarian faith, began to influence his songwriting. The lyrics became more reflective, infused with spiritual and political themes, echoing the Rastafarian ideals of unity, resistance, and empowerment. The collaboration with producer Lee Scratch Perry in the early 1970s was another turning point for the Wailers. Perry's innovative production techniques complemented the group's evolving sound. The albums Soul Rebels and Soul Revolution were critical successes, showcasing the group's growing confidence and maturity in their music. These albums also featured some of Marley's most iconic songs like Duppy Conqueror and Small Axe, which resonated with audiences both in Jamaica and overseas. However, the road to international fame was not smooth. The Wailers signed with Island Records in 1972, a move that gave them access to better recording facilities and wider distribution. Their first album for Island, Catch a Fire, released in 1973, was a groundbreaking record. It was one of the first reggae albums designed for an international audience, with songs like Stir It Up and Concrete Jungle, showcasing Marley's extraordinary songwriting and the band's unique sound. Catch a Fire was followed by Burnin' in 1973, featuring classics like Get Up, Stand Up, and I Shot the Sheriff. The latter became a global hit after Eric Clapton's cover version topped the charts in the United States. This exposure helped bring the Wailers and reggae music to a global audience, establishing Marley as an international music star. Despite their rising international acclaim, the group faced its share of internal struggles. Bunny Wailer and Peter Tosh left the band in 1974 to pursue solo careers, citing disagreements over the direction the band was taking under Island Records. This marked the end of the original Wailers lineup, but Marley continued the journey, reforming the group as Bob Marley and the Wailers. With new members, including the I-Threes, a female vocal trio featuring Marley's wife Rita, the band's sound continued to evolve. Albums like Natty Dread, 1974, and Rastaman Vibration, 1976, saw Marley delving deeper into political and social commentary, while still maintaining the band's distinctive reggae rhythm. Throughout the 1970s, Bob Marley and the Wailers' music continued to resonate with audiences worldwide. Their songs became anthems of social justice, peace, and the struggle for equality. From the streets of Kingston to international stages, Marley's voice became an emblem of resistance and hope for millions. Rise to stardom. Bob Marley's ascension to global stardom is a story of talent, perseverance, and the universal appeal of his music. By the mid-1970s, Marley was not just a musician, he was a cultural icon, his songs echoing far beyond the shores of Jamaica. The release of Natty Dread in 1974 marked the beginning of Marley's journey as the frontman of Bob Marley and the Wailers. This album included the hit No Woman, No Cry, which became an international sensation. It was not just the rhythm and the melody that captivated listeners, but also the poignant lyrics that spoke of life in the Trenchtown slums. The song, filled with longing and resilience, resonated with audiences worldwide, transcending cultural and linguistic barriers. Marley's next album, Rastaman Vibration, 1976, solidified his status as a global superstar. The album reached the top 50 of the Billboard 200 chart, an unprecedented achievement for a reggae artist at the time. Songs like War, based on a speech by Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie I, and Roots, Rock, Reggae, showcased Marley's talent for infusing music with social and political consciousness. However, Marley's rise to international fame was not just about chart success. It was his ability to articulate the struggles and aspirations of the oppressed that made him a figure of hope and resistance. His music became a voice for people who were marginalized and voiceless, and his message of unity and peace resonated across the globe. The year 1977 was significant for Marley, with the release of the album Exodus. Recorded in London after an assassination attempt in Jamaica, this album was a reflection of Marley's tumultuous life and the political unrest in his homeland. Exodus was a commercial and critical success, staying on the British album charts for 56 consecutive weeks. The title track, along with songs like Jamming, Waiting in Vain, and One Love People Get Ready, became anthems of peace and unity. The album's impact was such that Time magazine named it the best album of the 20th century in 1999. Marley's music continued to evolve, blending elements of rock, blues, and soul with reggae. His lyrics, while still deeply rooted in Rastafarian beliefs and the struggles of the Jamaican people, began to address broader themes of love, freedom, and spirituality. Albums like Kaya, 1978, which included hits like Is This Love and Satisfy My Soul, showcased this more relaxed, romantic side of Marley. Marley's impact on the world stage was not limited to his music. He became a symbol of peace and reconciliation, especially in Jamaica, where political tensions were high. His efforts culminated in the historic One Love Peace concert in 1978, where he famously joined the hands of Jamaica's two rival political leaders on stage, symbolizing his desire for peace in his war-torn country. The late 1970s saw Marley embarking on international tours, bringing reggae to audiences in Africa, Europe, and North America. His performance in Zimbabwe in 1980, during the country's Independence Day celebrations, was particularly significant. Marley saw this as a fulfillment of his support for African liberation struggles, a theme prevalent in many of his songs. Marley's influence extended beyond music. His style, demeanor, and public statements made him a cultural icon, admired and emulated by millions. His commitment to Rastafarianism, with its emphasis on peace, love, and a natural lifestyle, also inspired a global following. As the 1980s began, Marley's status as a music legend was firmly established. His final studio album, Uprising, 1980, featured tracks like Could You Be Loved and Redemption Song. The latter, an acoustic ballad, is particularly revered, showcasing Marley's songwriting prowess and his vision for freedom and emancipation. Bob Marley's rise to stardom was more than a musical success story. It was a journey that symbolized the power of music to unite people across different cultures and social divides, through his songs, spiritual and political influences. Bob Marley's music was a reflection of his deep spiritual beliefs and political convictions. These elements were not just themes in his songs, they were the essence of his life and the core of his identity. Marley's spiritual journey began in his youth but deepened significantly in the 1960s when he embraced Rastafarianism. This spiritual movement, rooted in the African diaspora's struggle for liberation, profoundly influenced Marley's worldview. Rastafarian beliefs, with their emphasis on the divinity of Haile Selassie I, former emperor of Ethiopia, and the vision of a utopian homeland in Africa for all people of African descent, resonated deeply with Marley. His music became a medium to spread the Rastafarian message of unity, peace, and resistance against oppression. Songs like Rastaman Vibration and Forever Loving Jah are emblematic of Marley's spiritual musings. His lyrics often referenced biblical themes and imagery interwoven with Rastafarian ideology, to communicate his vision of justice, redemption, and the fight against Babylon, a Rastafarian term symbolizing the oppressive Western society. Marley's spirituality was not just a personal belief system, it was a call to action. He saw himself as a messenger, using his music to awaken people to social injustice, inequality, and the need for spiritual renewal. His song, Redemption Song, with its powerful message of emancipation from mental slavery, is a testament to this mission. Politically, Marley was a voice for the marginalized. Growing up in the impoverished Trenchtown slums of Kingston, Jamaica, he witnessed firsthand the struggles of the poor and disenfranchised. This experience shaped his political views and fueled his desire to use his music as a tool for social change. Marley's political beliefs were complex and evolved over time. While he openly criticized the societal and economic injustices prevalent in Jamaica and beyond, he often steered clear of partisan politics. However, his music did not shy away from addressing political issues head-on. Songs like Africa Unite and War, the latter based on a speech by Haile Selassie I to the United Nations, are powerful calls for unity and resistance against oppression. Marley's influence extended beyond Jamaica, resonating with anti-colonial and civil rights movements worldwide. His support for the struggles in Zimbabwe and South Africa against apartheid made him a symbol of resistance in these countries. He became an icon, not just for his music, but for his unwavering stand against injustice. Despite his rising fame, Marley remained grounded in his commitment to social and political issues. His involvement in the One Love Peace concert in 1978, where he brought together rival political leaders in Jamaica, demonstrated his belief in music as a unifying force. Marley's political and spiritual beliefs were inextricably linked. He saw the fight against oppression, whether political, economic, or spiritual, as a unified struggle. His vision of a world united in peace and love was not just idealistic rhetoric. It was a call to action, a plea for a global awakening. Throughout his career, Marley faced criticism and backlash for his outspoken views. His advocacy for peace, unity, and resistance against oppression was often met with resistance from the very systems he criticized. The assassination attempt on his life in 1976 was a stark reminder of the dangers he faced as a result of his political activism. Despite these challenges, Marley's commitment to his beliefs never wavered. He continued to use his music to inspire, educate, and mobilize. His concerts were not just musical performances, they were gatherings of solidarity, celebrations of African heritage, and rallies for social change. In songs like Get Up, Stand Up, Marley articulated a simple yet powerful message: the importance of standing up for one's rights. This song became an anthem for various social justice movements around the world, transcending its Jamaican roots to become a universal call to action. The health crisis and battle with cancer. In July 1977, Bob Marley's life took a dramatic turn when he was diagnosed with a form of skin cancer known as acral lentiginous melanoma. This marked the beginning of a challenging and intense battle, with illness that would eventually lead to his untimely death, leaving the world bereft of a legendary musician and a symbol of hope and resistance. The first sign of trouble appeared in 1977 when Marley found a wound under the nail of his toe. Initially dismissed as a soccer injury, it turned out to be something far more serious. Despite medical advice to have his toe amputated, Marley, due to his religious beliefs and his love for performing, chose not to undergo the procedure. This decision, deeply rooted in his Rastafarian faith, which forbade cutting away parts of one's body, marked the beginning of a painful and difficult journey. By 1980, Marley's health had deteriorated significantly. The cancer, which had started in his toe, had spread to his brain, liver, lungs, and stomach. Despite his illness, Marley continued to tour and perform, driven by his passion for music and his commitment to his fans. In September of that year, during the Uprising tour, Marley's health took a turn for the worse. He played his last concert in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on September 23, 1980, delivering an energetic performance despite his failing health. Realizing the gravity of his situation, Marley sought treatment at the Bavarian clinic of Dr. Joseph Issels, a controversial figure known for his unconventional approach to cancer treatment. Issels' therapy focused on natural methods and holistic healing, a regimen that appealed to Marley's own beliefs about health and wellness. Marley underwent this treatment for several months, hoping for a miracle that would reverse his dire condition. During this time, Marley's physical appearance changed drastically. The once energetic performer, known for his dynamic stage presence and iconic dreadlocks, was now frail and weak. His hair had fallen out due to the effects of the treatment, and he had lost a significant amount of weight. Despite these changes, his spirit remained strong, and he continued to express his thoughts and emotions through music and conversation with those around him. Marley's battle with cancer was not just a physical struggle, it was a spiritual journey. He remained deeply connected to his Rastafarian faith, finding strength and solace in its teachings. He viewed his illness as a test of faith, a challenge to be faced with the same resilience and determination that had characterized his life and career. As Marley's condition worsened, his family and close friends rallied around him. They provided support and comfort, joining him in prayer and song and helping him to cope with the physical and emotional toll of his illness. Marley's wife, Rita, played a crucial role during this time, caring for him and managing his affairs as his health declined. In May 1981, realizing that his time was limited, Marley expressed a desire to return to Jamaica. However, on the flight home, his condition worsened, and he was hospitalized in Miami. It was there, on May 11, 1981, surrounded by his family, that Bob Marley passed away at the age of 36. His death sent shockwaves around the world, leaving millions of fans mourning the loss of a music legend and a symbol of hope. Marley's funeral in Jamaica was a fitting tribute to a man who had become a national hero. The ceremony was a blend of Rastafarian ritual and Christian tradition, reflecting the diverse influences that had shaped his life and music. Tens of thousands of people lined the streets to pay their respects, and Marley's music filled the air, a reminder of his enduring legacy. Legacy and impact. Bob Marley's demise on May 11, 1981, marked the end of an extraordinary life, but it was just the beginning of a legacy that would grow and continue to resonate around the world. More than just a musician, Marley was a cultural icon, a symbol of resistance and unity, whose influence extended far beyond the realms of music. Marley's impact on music is undeniable. He transformed reggae, a genre that had its roots in the streets of Kingston, Jamaica, into a global phenomenon. His unique style, which infused elements of rock, soul, and R&B into traditional reggae rhythms, made his music accessible to a broad international audience. Albums like Exodus, Natty Dread, and Rastaman Vibration not only achieved critical and commercial success, but also introduced reggae to listeners who were unfamiliar with the genre. But Marley's influence went far beyond his musical achievements. He was a cultural ambassador for Jamaica, bringing international attention to the country and its culture. His music highlighted the struggles of the Jamaican people, offering a voice to the marginalized and bringing issues of poverty, inequality, and injustice to the global stage. Marley was also a powerful symbol of the Rastafarian movement. Through his music and public persona, he popularized Rastafarian beliefs and philosophies. His dreadlocks, often adorned with a red, gold, and green tam, became a symbol of his identity and faith, and his lyrical references to Rastafarian theology and symbolism helped spread the movement's message worldwide. His songs, with their themes of love, peace, and unity, resonated with audiences across cultural and geographical boundaries. Hits like One Love, Get Up, Stand Up, and No Woman, No Cry became anthems for various social and political movements, and their messages remain relevant today. Marley's music continues to inspire activists, artists, and ordinary people, encouraging them to fight for their rights and stand up against oppression. Marley's influence also extended to the political sphere. He used his music to speak out against injustice and to advocate for peace and unity. His involvement in events like the One Love Peace Concert, where he famously united rival political leaders on stage, showed his commitment to using his influence for social change. His efforts to promote peace in Jamaica, particularly during times of political unrest, earned him a place in the hearts of the Jamaican people and the respect of political leaders worldwide. Beyond his music and activism, Marley's impact on popular culture is profound. His image, often depicted with his iconic smile and dreadlocks, has become synonymous with peace and resistance. His quotes and lyrics are widely shared and referenced, and his lifestyle and philosophy have inspired a global following. Marley's embrace of a natural, simple lifestyle, as well as his advocacy for marijuana, has influenced generations, shaping attitudes and conversations around these issues. One of the most enduring aspects of Marley's legacy is his family. His children, including Ziggy, Stephen, Damien, and others, have continued his musical legacy, achieving success as musicians in their own right. They have carried on his message of love and unity, often incorporating it into their own music and public lives. Marley's impact can also be seen in the continued popularity and evolution of reggae music. He laid the foundation for other artists to build upon, and his influence is evident in the work of contemporary, reggae, and hip-hop artists. The annual Bob Marley Day celebrations, held in various cities around the world, are a testament to his lasting influence. Marley's legacy is also evident in his philanthropic efforts. The Bob Marley Foundation, established in his memory, continues his work, supporting various social and educational projects in Jamaica and other developing countries. His message of empowerment and social justice lives on through these initiatives.